What's up, guys? This is Ty Zen. Welcome to the cryptocurrency.market channel. This is a real world trading, investing, and entrepreneurship channel where we share with you guys the things that we have done to grow and manage a 7, 8, and 9-figure portfolio. In this video, guys, I want to share with you guys something that happened to me back in 2007. I think it was 2007 when it happened, somewhere around that time period. Okay. Many of you guys know that I came to America as a Vietnamese refugee after the war between the U.S. and America. I stayed in the Malaysian refugee camps for over a year. Ended up in America as a refugee, political refugee, you know. And I lived there most of my life for like 40 years in the U.S. But most of those years I spent very, very poor. I grew up in a very poor ghetto black neighborhood and hung around the wrong people. Ended up in prison for drugs for nearly 14 years before I came out of prison. And then in 2006, I went in when I was about 18 years old, and I came out when I was in my mid-30s. So I had to rebuild my life and start all over. I discovered and heard about trading when I was in prison, and always wanted to do it when I came out. I just really like the idea that I can make money and be location independent and not have to go clock in for a job or deal with a boss. I'm one of those people that like to accept responsibility for my actions, so I don't like to rely on other people to make my money for me. I like to do it myself, and I want my success to be based on my responsibility. I hate it when somebody else is responsible for my success, because usually they're lazy, they don't want to do anything, and they're always in fear, and they won't work as hard as I do, okay? But when I first came out in 2006, in the summer of 2006 is when I first came out of prison. I didn't know how to use a computer, I didn't know how to use a cell phone, I didn't know how to use any of that, okay? So I had to learn it from my little brother who liked to play video games all the time, and back then we had very slow internet and a very slow computer, so it took me a long time to learn. By 2007, I started going to like the Rich Dad, Poor Dad seminars to learn about money and things like that, and I started to go to different trading meetups, conferences, and just most of them were all free because I didn't have any money at that time. And I remember going to this one event, and I didn't even know what, at that time, I had heard about Forex trading, but I didn't know what it was and had no clue. I just knew that it was, you trade like foreign currencies or something like that, but I'd never met someone that traded it. I don't know anything about it at that time in 2007. And I went to an event, and I remember it was during a break, during like the first break, at most of the conferences and most of the meetups and most of the gatherings that you have with traders and investors, you'll notice that at the first break, usually you'll see people get up and leave. I didn't know that back then, but now I do. You'll see people just get up and leave. Those are the people that usually have some idea or have some experience in trading, and so they're not going to stick around. Usually the people that stick around all the way to the end, either they're there for networking or to make friends, or they're there because they actually don't know anything about trading. And I was there. I was one of those people at that time back in 2007. I was both. I was there to network with other people, and I was there to learn how to trade because I didn't know how to trade back then, okay? So I remember that I met this white guy during the break, and I think we were getting some water or coffee or something like that during the break. I don't remember exactly what part of the hotel or the event, or even the name of the event that I was at, because I went to so many. But I remember me and him walking, and he said that he was headed out. And I asked him, you know, like, hey, aren't you going to stick around for the rest of the event? And he said this is not what he was looking for. He said he was looking for something that was a bit more advanced. And I said, really? So when he said that, I said, naturally I asked him, you know, like, hey, I mean, are you trading now? And he said, yeah, I'm trading Forex right now. He said, I used to trade stocks, but it was not working out. And then he goes, I got into Forex, and it's been working out really well for me. I've been doing it for several years. So I said, hey, so you're actually trading for a living, right? That's what you do full time. You're not making money from anything else. And he said, yeah, that's what I do full time. Been doing it for several years. And I asked him, I said, I thought it wouldn't hurt to ask. You know what I mean? I have nothing to lose. So I asked him, I said, hey man, do you think that you would have time to show me how to trade like you do so I can trade for a living? You know, I told him I've never heard of Forex. I don't know anything about it. I've heard people mention it once or twice, you know, but other than knowing the word Forex, I actually don't know anything about it, you know. And I told him, I said, you know, I would really appreciate it if you would help me out, you know, if you have the time to help me out. And he looked at me he didn't stare at me for a very long time, but he looked at me like, he had this look on his face like, and I can tell that the look, you know, because I grew up on the streets, you know, I was in prison for nearly 14 years, so I can tell when someone is lying or bullshitting, or if, you know, I have a pretty good, like, you know, I guess you can say that, you know, after being in prison for nearly 14 years, around, you know, 2,000 prisoners at 7 different federal prisons, you start to see when, you know, what people are thinking, you know, if they're honest, if they're bullshitting or they're lying to you or not, you know. And I can tell that this guy was not, he was not trying to brush me off. He was not trying to bullshit me. But I can tell from the look on his face that when I asked him if he had time to help me learn how to trade Forex, because I had never met somebody that was successful in trading and that was able to trade for a living full time, I can tell the expression on his face, right? That moment that he was staring at me, that brief moment that he was staring at me and looking at me, I can tell that he was in, like, it was really hard for him to say no. And it was really hard for him to say yes. It's as if he was stuck in the middle. And I can tell that he wanted to help, but he couldn't. Okay? And he told me, he goes, and I can tell that it was very hard for him to respond back to me, for him to answer me when I asked him that. And I, at that time, I couldn't understand why he was hesitant to even answer me. Like, he can say yes or no, you know, it's not going to bother me none. And he knew that, right? But he was stuck there, and even though it was just a brief moment, for me, it seemed like a long time that he had to sit there and ponder and consider and think about how he was going to answer me. And so he said, I really don't have time, you know? And he said, I wish I could help you, but I really just don't have the time. And he said that that I should not give up on learning to become a trader. You know, he goes, if that's what I really want to do, he goes, I should continue pursuing it and learning it, you know? And he just said, you know, something simple like, you know, Forex is a good market to get started in. And that was it. And that was it, okay? And he said something like, you know, I know you're a beginner and it can be a struggle, you know, to get started. And he goes, I was in the same shoes. And he said that, you know, but I just really don't have the time right now. I wish I had the time to help you, but I just really don't, you know. And so I went home that day, and I remember thinking about that, like, it was not because he said that he didn't have time to help me, okay? It was just the way that it took him longer than usual for him to say that. And I was thinking, like, what did he really mean by that? Like, when he said he really didn't have time for me to help me, what did he mean by that, right? What does that mean? Was there something else behind that he couldn't tell me because it would hurt my feelings? Or was there something about him saying that he didn't have time to help me that it was beyond my level of understanding at that time? Maybe he's up here and I'm down here, and there's no way that he knew that I would not be able to that he was at a much higher level than I was at that time. And there was no way for me to understand what he's talking about when he said he had he didn't have time for me, okay? And so I said, well, I didn't understand that, so I just thought in my mind that, you know what, maybe it's because, he doesn't want to do it for free, or maybe it's not worth his time or any of that. And I just said, it's no big deal. I'll just move on and keep going, okay? So that was like somewhere around 2007, okay? Now, fast forward, 13 years later till today, and I'm a retired, millionaire trader, and now I see things in a different light. I see things in a different light, and in this video, I want to share with you why he would not help me back then. Back then, I was not capable of understanding it. I was not at a level to where I can understand what he meant when he said he didn't have time to help me. Okay, so if you guys want to follow along with me here, you guys know that I always say this all the time. Everything in trading is based on math and science. Okay, it's based usually on math. There's nothing fancy about trading, okay? And it's not just about trading, it's about making money, it's about doing business, it's about entrepreneurship. It's all about the numbers, okay? So it's all about basic math, like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, all right? So I want you guys to take out your calculator with me, okay? Now the first number, I want you guys to do this, okay? And please, even if you think you're good in math, just follow along with me on the numbers, just so that you guys learn this lesson that I've learned, okay? So I want you guys to take 10,000, and 10,000 is how much money that you make in a year. Pretend that you make $10,000 a year, okay? And you divide that by 250 working days in a year. If you remove all the Saturdays and Sundays and holidays, there's about 250 working days in a year, right? So there's about 250 trading days in a year. And what you come up with is about 40, okay, right there. The focus on this is going to be kind of difficult, but if you can see it, there it is, right? 40 times, what do you call that? Yeah, it's $40 a day, okay? So if you're making $40 a day, right, I want to share a few things with you on how to make a decision, and then at the same time, you're going to learn why that Forex trader said no to me, okay, in 2007. So I realize now, as a millionaire trader, that if your time is worth $40 a day, right, if you're making $10,000 a year, then your time is worth about $10 a day. $40 a day. So let's just say a friend or a colleague or a coworker, somebody comes up to you and says, hey, Ty, let's go do this and we can make, some money. The first question I'm going to ask that person is, hey, how much money are we going to make? If we do it and it works, if it's correct and it works, how much money do we make? And he says, oh, we'll make about $20 a day. Well, I'm going to have to say no to that, okay? I'm going to have to say no to that, right? And I learned from one of my friends in Boston, okay? He said he taught me a very polite way to say no, because a lot of people, they hate rejection and they get upset when you reject them. So he said the best way, he's another sales guy that friend of mine in Boston, and he said one of the best ways that you can say no to someone politely and not hurt their feelings is to add the word respectfully, okay? And so he said if you just say, I'm gonna have to respectfully say no, okay? So whenever somebody asks you if you're worth, if you're making $10,000 a year and your day is worth $40 a day, and somebody offers you a opportunity to make some money that makes $20 a day, then you're going to have to tell that person that, hey, I'm going to have to respectfully say no to your offer because I just don't have time right now, okay? Now, if they offer you to do something that's $40 a day, right, you still have to decline that, okay? You have to say something like, I have to respectfully decline your offer or respectfully say no to that because I don't have time for it, okay? And the reason why you don't have time for it is because if what you're doing right now, if you're working a job or you're doing something, you're self-employed or you have a business where you're making $10,000 a year, if you want to make more money, just do more of that business. If you're working that job and you make $10,000 a year, which is $40 a day, then just do more of that. You don't have to go learn something new. You don't have to risk something new. to make the same amount of money. Just try to figure out how to do more of that. Work overtime or do something, okay? So you guys follow me so far? Okay, let's just add a 0 to both of these numbers that we're talking about, okay? So let's go ahead and instead of making $10,000 a year, let's just say that now, I'm making $100,000 a year. And take that $100,000, divide it by the same 250, and basically, we made it 10 times bigger. My income is 10 times bigger. So now my value, my worth every day, my daily worth, the worth of my time and value each day goes from $40 to $400. We add another 0 behind it, right? Or you can take the $100,000 and divide it by 250 working days, and you get $400 a day. Okay, so now Ty is no longer worth $40 a day. Ty is now worth $400 a day. Okay, so Ty has to think, okay, when his buddies, his friends, and his colleagues come and ask him, hey, let's go do this and we're gonna make some more money, and that more money equals to $200 a day, even though it sounds like a lot compared to when Ty was making, $40 a day, it's still not enough. It's still not $400 a day. So I'm gonna have to say no to all that. Okay, I have to respectfully say no. I have to respectfully decline that offer. Okay, now at what point do I consider it? Usually what I recommend is about a 3x. So if somebody comes to me and says, hey, I know you're making $400 a day, Ty. Your value, your time, your energy, your effort is worth, you are worth about $400 a day. And I have this opportunity to where we can 3x that, which is about $1,200 a day. Then I would consider that. I would consider it. I didn't say I would go do it, but I might consider that. Okay, so that's just a kind of a guideline so that you guys know. Okay, and so now let's just say that I'm now $1 million trader and I'm making $1 million a year. Okay, now I want you guys to think about this. Okay, when you guys listen to this and you guys hear me say that, oh, Ty claims he's $1 million trader, there's two things that come to mind naturally whenever you hear somebody say that online or anywhere, online or offline. The first thing is, like, this motherfucker's just full of shit. He ain't no fucking $1 million trader. If he is, why is he making a stupid fucking video for? Right? Why isn't he off playing golf or at the sunbathing out at the beach or something? So that's the first thought that would come to my mind if I heard someone say that online. The second thought that would come to my mind is that, this guy's, he's been studying trading and practicing all these years. He got into crypto early, so he was trading stocks and forex and futures long before crypto came along, so he had experience, new market in crypto. So it's possible that he became $1 million trader in crypto. So maybe I can learn a few things from him. So you got one mindset where you can say that, oh, this guy's full of shit, right? And either cut it off or listen to more bullshit that I'm saying, or you can say, you know what, this guy, is, not sounding the same as all the other, non-traders on YouTube and stuff, and let me listen to what he has to say and maybe I can learn something, right? It doesn't really matter to me which one that the mindset that you adopt, okay? Because if you think I'm full of shit, right, then nothing I say is going to help you. But if you're here to genuinely learn how to grow and manage a 7, 8, 9-figure portfolio, then this will benefit you. Okay, so back then, I couldn't understand why that guy, that forex trader, hesitated when he told me he didn't have time. Okay, so now let's just do some math. Let's just assume, whether you believe it or not, right? Let's just assume that I'm $1 million trader. So if I make $1 million a year, how much is that time worth? Okay, so let's do the math here. Let's take in $1 million, right? Divide that by 250 trading days in a year. So my time is worth about 4,000 a day, right? 4,000. Okay, now if you live in outside the Western countries, like in Africa or in Asia or somewhere, Southeast Asia especially, you might think that, holy crap, $4,000 a day, that's a lot of money. Okay, now I want you guys to think about this. Even in America, that's a lot of money, right? Even in the Western countries, that's a lot of money. I want you guys to think about this. Let's just assume, let's just put the Just put everything, all your preconceived notions, all your stereotypes about trading, about rich people, about wealthy people, and let's just put everything aside, and let's just do some simple math, okay? If I'm making $1 million a year trading crypto, that means that my time is worth around $4,000 a day. So I want you guys to think about this. If my time is worth $4,000 a day, and somebody comes and offers me a money-making opportunity to where I can make $1,000 a day, do you think it's worth my time to go after that? And if your answer is no, right, then you're right. It's not worth my time. If somebody offers me $4,000, an opportunity to make $4,000 a day right now, it's still not worth my time, because all I have to do is do more of what I'm currently doing right now, and I don't have to think too much about it. I have experience in trading crypto now. I have a system down. I have a process down. I know that over the long term, I'm going to consistently make money. I've been doing it, for the last 7 years, right? So there's no need for me to learn a new skill and take a new risk when I'm already making $4,000 a day, okay? Now, I want to be clear so that legally I don't get in trouble for saying this, okay? All the stuff I'm saying in this video is just all hypothetical, and you can assume that's all bullshit, okay? Don't take anything I say as real, okay? Don't take anything that I say as financial advice. Everything I say here is just for entertainment purposes only, for bullshit purposes only, okay? Don't listen to anything I say, okay? I'm just throwing out a bunch of numbers just for you to think and consider and see if it makes sense, okay? So let's just say that because I don't want you guys to say that, oh, Ty claimed this or Ty claimed that, and all that other bullshit, okay? I'm just throwing out, just assume that I'm just throwing out numbers and just thinking out loud, okay? So if my time is worth $4,000 a day, and some Asian dude comes up and asks me, hey man, can you help me learn how to trade and do what you're doing so I can trade for a living also, right? Do you think it's worth my time to stop and explain to him? Do you think it's worth the time, okay, for me to stop and explain to that poor Asian kid how he can trade and make money and become a millionaire trader? Do you think it's worth my time? Okay. Now, I want you to also consider this. What would have to incentivize me? What would have to incentivize me? What would be a big enough incentive for me to take the time out to help this student or to help out this guy that wants to become a successful trader? Okay. Now, I want you to understand this too as a backdrop. Here, take everything I just said and put it aside, and now I want you to consider something else that I haven't shared with you. Okay. So many of you guys may or may not know this, but my team and I, my business partner David and I, we've been coaching hundreds and hundreds of students to trade stocks, forex, futures, options for many, many, many years before we got into crypto trading. Okay, so we have experience in teaching people and coaching people, right, how to trade. And there's one thing that David and I learned is that when we teach somebody for free, they never do it. Like, I've taught hundreds of people how to trade since I got into trading, and if you count all the people that I spent, hours and hours, I would stay up till 10 o'clock at night, till 12 o'clock at night to help these people learn how to trade so they can make money and improve their financial life. Not a single person, not one person, okay, has ever made money from trading or became financially free or was able to retire off the stuff that I shared with them for free. Why? Why is that I share the exact same things with them in our paid training program? We have a paid training program called the Cryptocurrency Investing Blueprint. You can check it out at www.cryptocurrency.market/blueprint. You go check it out and get you a copy if you're serious about trading and investing in crypto. How is it possible that I teach those students the exact same thing that I teach them in the Cryptocurrency Investing Blueprint, but the ones that are in the Cryptocurrency Investing Blueprint training program, they are successful, and the ones that I taught for free are not successful? Why do you guys think that's so? Why do you guys think that is possible? How is that possible? Okay, I don't have one person that I taught for free that is successful. And when I say successful, obviously the idea of success is different for each person. For somebody, making an extra $100 a month may be considered successful. For somebody that, is able to make an extra $100,000 a year from trading, that might be considered successful to them. For some people, being able to quit their day job and retire and just trade full time, like we are right now, that might be considered successful to them. For some people, success is not until they crack $10 million in profits. So each person has a different level of success. In this particular instance, when I say that none of the free students have ever become successful when I teach them for free, okay, I'm going to say that none of them have ever made more than like $10,000 a year from trading, and none of them definitely have never been able to quit their day job and retire. Okay, now if we go look at the people who invested into our cryptocurrency investing blueprint, why are they different? Is it because they paid for it? I believe so. I believe so because in the world of money, right, there's a thing called glue. There's a thing called commitment. Glue is the same thing as commitment. You got to have some kind of glue, some kind of commitment, something. In English, in America, we call it skin in the game. Like if you have no skin in the game and you have nothing at stake, nothing that's at risk if you don't succeed, then usually you won't do it. There's no reason to do it. Okay, so I want you guys to understand this. When I asked that Forex trader in 2007 if he can help me, the reason why he was looking at me and hesitated, the reason why was because he knew he was in the exact same position I was in before. Everybody goes through the same things, right? A lot of people think that, oh, this guy's different from that trader, No, it's not. Everybody goes through a very similar process to become a consistently profitable trader. You go through struggles in the beginning, you don't know what you're doing, you're jumping from time frames, and then you jump into different indicators, and you jump into different strategies, you jump into different asset classes, you switch between all these things, right? And then at some point you realize, hey, you know what, I don't need to switch from stocks to Forex to crypto to options to futures. I can just stay in one market and become very good at it. I don't need to switch around to different stocks. I don't need to switch around to different cryptos. I can just stay with one or two or a small handful and become very good at it and know it really well. And then I don't need to switch between different time frames. I just need to stick with the same consistent time frames. And then the good traders will come to realize that it's the consistency in what they do that is more important than how much profit they make. Because if their processes are consistent, the end result of that is that you're going to have consistent profits. Okay, so the reason why that Forex trader hesitated and was reluctant to say no to me was because he was caught in a bind. He's caught, like, there's half of him that says, man, I really want to help Ty out because I know how it feels to struggle when you first learn how to trade. But then there's the other half of him that says, you know what? I've helped people before for free, and they never do it. They never do what you tell them to do. They never, ever, ever do it. So why should I waste time doing it? And let's just say that Ty will do it. Let's say Ty is going to do it, right? If I'm $1 million trader and I'm worth $4,000 a day, it's going to take me several weeks, several months to coach him to be a successful trader. Wouldn't you agree? Like, it's not going to take 2-3 days. It's going to take, let's just say, even if it takes 100 days to make me successful and become $1 million trader, which is a very short period of time. If you take 100 times 4,000, that's still $400,000 worth of time that Forex trader would have to invest into me in order to make me become a successful trader. And is that worth it for him? If he's already making money, if he's already $1 million trader, is that worth it to him to stop what he's doing to come over here and coach me on how to become a better trader? Right? What is the incentive for him to do that? What is the incentive? Like, I'll give you guys an example, right? Like, you guys know our intern, Casey. She helped on our channel back in, I think, 2018, right? And then, after she was done interning with us, she moved on and did some other stuff with film and along the lines that she wanted to be in, right? She learned a lot from us, helping us in the crypto space. But then she wanted to move out of the crypto space and go into a different industry, but do film also, but do it with the industry that she liked in. She still focused on film, but in the industry that she liked. Okay, so now why did I help her and teach her everything that I could for free? Well, why did I do that? You know, if my policies don't teach people how to make money for free, then why did I help her? Well, the incentive was because when I was in prison for nearly 14 years, right, on the day that I got released, I could not get released unless I had someone from the streets, from the outside, come and pick me up from the prison. I needed a family member to come pick me up from the prison in order for me to get released. And the only person that was available, I had nobody in my family because my family was so poor they couldn't get to the prison to come pick me up so I can go home. So because they had no money, right, to come that far to come pick me up from the prison. So the only person that was able to do it was Casey's dad, right? Casey's dad was in prison with me. So he called one of his brothers and he said, hey man, my buddy in here, Ty, they're releasing him today, but he can't go home because the law requires that they can't just release me out to the streets because then they don't want to be responsible for me being out on the streets. So they want a family member to come pick me up so that because I had been in prison for 14 years, right? So because of that, he called his younger brother, and his younger brother came and picked me up that same day. He just dropped everything he did and he came to the prison to pick me up. He drove hours and hours, I think it was like 3-4 hours to come pick me up from the prison so I can get released that day, right? So because of that, when Casey's dad made that phone call for me so I can get released that day, I owe that to him. And I'm grateful for that so I can go home, right? So when he called me up one day and he said, hey man, my daughter Casey is doing this, she wants to, learn about getting on YouTube and learning about, social media and learning how to be an influencer and learning how all this stuff about film and stuff like that, can you help her? I said, yeah, I'm not going to say no to her, right? Because her dad helped me out, okay? So because of that, there's an incentive for me to want to help her because I'm repaying back the debt and the gratitude that her dad showed to me to help me get out of prison that day when I got released, okay? So, but if I don't owe you any debt, any gratitude, I don't know you from anywhere, if you just show up in my life and I'm worth $4,000 a day, right? What is the incentive for me to help you? What is the incentive for me? And I'm not being like, you can say, hey Ty, you're so selfish, you're making this money now, you're wealthy now, and now, you want to look down on poor people and stuff. And I'm thinking like, am I really looking down on poor people? Do you guys consider me looking down on poor people if my time is worth $4,000 a day and I can go make some more money, or I can go and play with my kids, okay? So I'm not gonna go play golf or go sunbathing or anything like that because that's just not something that I enjoy to do. I like to sit at the beach and just drink a coconut and walk in the water and jog and run in the beach and stuff like that, but it's just to go out there. I mean, I have a tan already, so why do I need to go sunbathe for, right? I was born with a tan, right? So I want you guys to think about this because that's the position that I'm finding myself in, is that there's basically like 3 things that I like to do now that I'm retired. Either one, I like spending time with my wife and kids. Either I'm there banging my wife, or I'm playing with my kids, playing with my wife or playing with my kids. So that's the first thing I like to do, okay? The second thing I like to do is make money. If I'm not making money, I like to play with my wife or play with my kids, right? And then the third thing I like to do is just rest and recover. That means that if I'm not spending time with my wife and kids, and I'm not spending time making money, then the rest of the time I just like to sit there and do nothing. Like, so making these videos is one form of relaxation for me, okay? So I'm sitting here relaxing, and I'm just, I have these thoughts in my mind, so I'm just sharing it with you guys. And if it helps you guys, great. But if it doesn't, that's great too, okay? Making money is not for everyone, guys. Making money is not for everyone, all right? Some people like to be poor, some people like to be rich. I like to be rich, I don't like to be poor. Some people like to lose, some people like to win. I like winning, okay? I like being at the top, I don't like being at the bottom. I spent most of my life being poor, being a loser, and being at the bottom. I have a ton of experience doing that, okay? If you want to know how to be a loser, how to be nowhere in life, how to go nowhere in life, and know how to amount to nothing in life, trust me, I am a bona fide professional at that. Why? Because most of my life was spent in that area, okay? Having money has only been a short period in my life, okay? I'm, what, 48, 49 years old, 49 years old right now, right? Out of that 49 years old, about 44 years of that, I was broke as shit. I was poor and broke as shit, okay? So I am a bona fide expert in that. You guys might laugh and say, oh, Ty's full of shit, he ain't no fucking millionaire trader or whatever, you know what? You might be right, but you ain't gonna be able to argue with me about being a fucking broke ass, for most of my life and know how to have a poverty mindset or how to think with a poverty mindset. I am a bona fide expert at that, okay? So I'm saying this so that you guys understand this. Why am I sharing this with you guys, okay? Well, you guys know that in our cryptocurrency investing blueprint, it comes along with 1 year of coaching. Now, when we first started the curriculum and the program back in 2017, right? In the beginning of 2017, I knew from coaching and training people how to trade stocks that if you don't coach someone after they get the training to make sure that they stick to what you teach them, the chances of success are very low, okay? Simply because people go home, they watch our training, they learn from our training, and now they try to invent new stuff that they shouldn't be doing, taking risks that they shouldn't be taking, right? So the coaching, the 1 year coaching allows us to keep our students on track. Like, we don't want our students going off track. We already know, we've been through it's like a minefield, it's like a minefield where we already stepped on all the landmines that blew off our foot and we're still alive. See, when you go through a minefield, you want to listen to the guy on the other side that's still alive. But better yet, you want to listen to the guy that's alive that still has his foot, okay? You don't want to listen to the guy that's dead. The one that's dead in the middle of the minefield that got blown up and he's in like 100 different pieces. He ain't gonna be able to teach you nothing, right? So the only thing he can teach you is don't step right there where he's standing at, okay? So that's what our training required. It required like a year. We figured that, hey, a year of coaching should be able to help out, and that's what we've been doing with our students. But now we're running into this problem, and I'll share it with you guys. We're running into a problem where, okay, those three things that I want to do, make money, spend time with, play with my wife or kids, and rest and relax, right, and recover. So these three things, well, we're getting to a point now where I think that after this next bull market, we're not going to be able to scale our coaching. Like, we're going to have too many students where we can't coach them all, okay? We can't coach them all. It's just not possible. It's not realistic, right? So my goal is in the next, after this, because we promised our students that we would coach them, right? So we're going to coach them into this next bull market to make sure they survive and they know what to do and they know how to respond correctly in the bull market. But in the next, after this bull market, we have to ask ourselves, like, if we're making $1 million a year and our time is worth $4,000, how much is our time worth when we make $2 million a year? How about, that's $8,000 a day now. How about 10 million a year? 10 million, yeah. At that point, my time would be worth 10 times more than it is today, which is 4,000 times 10, right? Which is what? $40,000 a day? So if someone wanted me to teach them how to trade when I'm worth $40,000 a day, do you think that it makes sense for me to take the time out to explain it to them? Even if I want to, okay? So now, let's just put all the trading aside. I'm just thinking out loud, guys, so you guys know, okay? Remember, guys, the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is this is real world shit on how to become wealthy and how to make life-changing profits, okay? You gotta know what the rich people are thinking and the successful people are thinking so that you can interact with them, okay? So now, we talked about trading, we talked about why that trader would not help me, was reluctant to help me and hesitated to help me in 2007, right? I wanna talk about something else too. Now that we have these numbers in your mind of how much a millionaire is worth each day, how much is somebody making $100,000 worth each day, somebody that's making $10,000 a year is worth each day, right? So now, let's talk about when we approach rich people. When we approach a rich trader, how do we interact with them? How do we get that person to become our friend so that we can learn with them? You know, obviously, if we're $1 million traders, right, we want to talk to other millionaires. We want to become friends with other millionaires, right? How do we do that? How do we do that? Well, the first thing I know is this, is that, hey, if that's $1 million trader or $1 million businessman or $1 million entrepreneur or $1 million engineer, I have to first know that his time is worth about $4,000 a day. Okay, that's the first thing I need to keep in mind, that guy's time is worth $4,000 a day, just like my time. Okay, now, if I go there and just invite him out, hey man, you want to go have a coffee with me? We sit down and chit chat about trading. The likelihood of him doing that is very slim. Why? Because it's easy for him to just give me $5 so I can go get the coffee myself than to come along with me, because I might suck up an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of his time, and that's costs way more than the $5 cup of coffee. Okay? So I have to think, okay, if he's a millionaire, if I believe that that guy's a millionaire, then I need to offer something that is at least 3x what he's worth each day. So if I go talk to him, he has to pull out, he has to gain about $12,000. 4,000 a day times 3x, right, times 3 is about 12,000. So he has to gain about $12,000 worth of value out of me. He has to gain $12,000 of value out of me to make it worth his time. If I do that, if I offer him something, right? So how would I do it? Let's just look at an example, okay? Let's just say, hey, if I say, hey, let's go, hey, can I invite you out for coffee? We just chit chat about trading, and I want to share with you some of the hardware wallet stuff that we're using, some of the hardware wallets systems that we're using, that we're designing so that we can store our crypto much safer. That's probably not going to be worth his time, because he would ask me like, okay, what are you guys using? And I say I'm using Trezor and Ledger, and this is how we're splitting up the seed words to protect it, right? That's not going to interest. I can tell you right now, that's not going to interest him, because if he's $1 million trader in crypto, he probably knows how to do that, or he has some idea of how to protect his assets already. Like if you guys come to me and say that, I'm gonna probably have to respectfully decline, because it's likely that your hardware wallet structure and process and systems is probably not more secure than the ones that we have set up already. So I'm gonna have to respectfully decline that. Okay. So and the reason why I say that is because we've spent a lot of time, money, and research into that, and we have some good guys, and we've made a lot of mistakes, which have taught us what to do to secure it so we don't make those same mistakes again, right? So the chance of you doing that are slim, okay? And especially if you're not managing, like an 8-9 figure portfolio, we're probably not going to listen to you about security, okay? So I mean, I'm just being honest about that, okay? So so what can I offer to that trader that would make him, or that millionaire that would make him be interested in what we're doing? So let's just say that guy's a trader, right? I'm going to say, hey, look, I've been doing some research on some DeFi, okay, some extensive research. How extensive, you ask? I'm putting in over $100,000 of my money into multiple DeFi projects to test their staking, to test their annual percentage yield, how much the loss is, how much the gain is, what happens when you switch, from this, liquidity mining pool to this liquidity mining pool to this one. And I have some interesting data I want to run by you and see if it makes sense to you. I noticed that I'm losing like $2,000 to $5,000 on each one of these things every time I switch pools. It's costing me money like that, right? So now that might trigger in his head like, ooh, shit, this guy's testing, Ty's testing over $100,000 into DeFi. That's what he's using to test with. Shit, I need to talk to him about this shit because it's hot in the markets right now, right? So that right there And you notice I threw out some numbers that it's costing me about $2,000 to $5,000, right? To go from this liquidity pool to this liquidity pool and test the mining out and the farming out. So just 3 pools alone, if I lose, $5,000 testing each pool, that's $15,000. That just saved his ass about $15,000 worth of testing just to hear what I have to say about DeFi. Okay, so that right there is going to be worth his time. So I just, it's like a fish hook. I just hooked him in by the mouth, and it makes sense for him to want to go hang out with me and see what it is. So I'm giving him value. So the purpose of me doing that is to provide value to him, right? Never try to suck value from another human being, okay? Give value first. Give 3x worth of value. Give 10x worth of value before you ask for $1 back in value. Before you ask for 1x of value from that person, ask, show them, give them, provide to them 3x, 10 to 10x worth of value first. And you might say, Ty, like, how do you calculate 3x of value? Well, I just explained it at the beginning of this video, guys. If your time is worth, if you're making $10,000 a year, your time is worth about $40 a day. If you're making $100,000 a year, your time is worth about $400 a day. So if you spend a day with me, you're giving me $400 worth of your time, your value, okay? And now, keep in mind, guys, we can always make more money. Like, one of the things that, whenever I ask our students, hey, we have the most expensive, cryptocurrency investing training program on the market. What inspired you guys to invest into our training program? And one of the most common answers that I get is that, I can always make more money. I can't make more time, and I don't want to miss this bull market. I don't want to miss this opportunity of a lifetime in crypto, right? If I can invest into your training program, Ty, and I can speed up the learning process and not have to make the big mistakes that you make, that's going to save me a lot of time and money, and I can make that money back. Whatever I pay for your course, I can make that money back. But the time that I waste trying to figure it out on my own, I cannot make that back. Once it's gone, right? So when you say, hey, how can I offer value to someone else that makes way more money than me? Well, if my time is worth $4,000 a day, right? By the way, I keep saying $4,000 a day. The reality is worth way more than that. Whether you believe it or not, it is, it's up to you. But I'm going to tell you, Leon, he has a bigger portfolio than I do. I can tell you right now, his time, if my time is worth more than $4,000 a day, his time is worth significantly more than that. Significantly, okay? So, anyways, so if I want to offer somebody more time, right, then, some value, then I have to think, okay, how much is my time worth? So if that guy's a millionaire, I can come hang out with him. I can go hang out with him and offer him more value because I'm also worth that much. Okay? I can figure out what to talk to him about so that I can offer him more 3x of value, 10x of value, okay? But okay, so let's just say what happens at the time when I'm only making $10,000 a year and his time is worth $4,000 a day, and my time is only worth $40 a day. Well, then what happens is that I have to really be careful. I have to buy my time, meaning that I have to wait until my time is worth more value before I try to network with that person, before I try to contact that person, before I reach out to that person, right? So there's a lot every day I get dozens of contacts from people saying, hey, Ty, you want to go hang out? You want to go grab a lunch? Hey, let's go chat, go grab a coffee, talk about trading or something, talk about crypto or DeFi, whatever. And they don't realize that they're not respecting my time because my time is worth more than $4,000 a day, but their time is not, right? Come here. Right? Their time is not worth it, okay? So that's why it's very simple for them to invite me, but I have to decline. I have to respectfully decline because if I'm not doing anything, I'd rather spend time with my son Ether right here and mess around with him, right? And play with him. So whenever you guys do this, I'm sharing this lesson with you guys because lately, since I retired, I've had a lot of people contact me, and I just don't have the time for them. I really don't. And the stuff that they're contacting me about, to me, it almost borders on disrespectful, because they're not valuing my time. Because if you really do believe that I am a millionaire trader, then you have to see how much my time is worth each day. Now, if you don't, then that's fine. But if you really are seeking my help to help you become a better trader, and you think that if you believe that I am a millionaire trader, then that's how much my time is worth, right? So I want to share with you guys a few things, okay? I just run a few examples by you, okay, so that you guys know, okay? So one of my students, he kept hearing me say that, I'm trying to build some software so that I can scale our trading. Like, we're reaching a point where, just so you guys know, when you're managing like under $500,000 portfolio, that's something you can do manually. But once you start getting to a 7-figure portfolio, into $1 million, into the 8 figures, which is 10 million, or into 9 figures, which is 100 million, I can tell you right now that you cannot do that alone. You need software, or you need a big team of people to help you manage that. That is not something you do alone. Do not try to do it alone. If you do, you're gonna end up losing a lot of money, okay? I'm telling you guys that right now, okay? So we've tried to hire like 3 software engineering teams to help build the software that we need so we can scale our trading, right? And it's been a struggle, because I'm not a software engineer, I'm not a project manager, I'm not I have no background in software engineering, okay? Now, my business partners, Leon and them, right, they do, okay? They have background, but even them, they just don't want to mess with it, They made money in crypto to retire. They didn't make crypto, they didn't make money from crypto to go and do some more work. Okay, so for me, my goals are a lot bigger than them. They've made, like Leon, he's made lots of money already, and making more money for him is not going to change anything. It's not going to improve his quality of life. So it doesn't matter to him to make more money. Okay, for me, there's a number I want to hit in my mind. Okay, just to see if I can do it. Just for my personal, just for my personal enjoyment. That's all. Just, some people want to have a black belt in martial arts, in jiu-jitsu. Some people want to have a black belt in karate or taekwondo or something like that. Some people achieve, strive to have a gold medal in the Olympics. Okay, so I have a certain number in my mind, right, that I want to crack, right, and I believe I can do it, because I've helped some of our students do it already. So I know I can do it too, right? So that's what I have in mind. Okay, so now one of our students is a software engineer. So when he heard me say that, he came and he said, "Hey Ty, if you write down the equations and the specs of what you want in your portfolio manager, I will build it for you." Okay, I will build it for you, right, at no cost. He said that. He goes, "I'll build that for you for free." Why? Because I just want to learn what you know about trading. And if helping you build the software for you makes you a better trader, it's going to make me a better trader, because I'm going to be using it too, right? I said, "Yeah, I'll be happy to." And that's how we got our Taifu portfolio manager built. You can check it out at index.cryptocurrency.market, right? Or it's somewhere on our website, okay? Because our website's constantly changing, so it's somewhere on there, okay? So that's the software that we use to manage and grow and scale our portfolio. Now, I want you to check this out. Even though our student offered to us to do it for free, right? Obviously we're not gonna make money from trading and then, just have the engineer do it for us for free. So we paid him, we paid him for building that software for us, because he built it correctly for us, okay? So we're happy with it, so we paid him. So we're both happy. But one thing that he did was, he watched my previous videos about providing value, and he volunteered and he provided value first. He provided value first, massive value. Why? Because I'm not able to do the math fast enough and quick enough to do my trading, and I want to scale, and I can't do the math quick enough. Okay, and I cannot do the math accurately enough. Okay, remember guys, I'm just a high school dropout. Okay, I'm a high school dropout. Okay, So it's not like I'm a mathematician or something. So he was able to use his engineering skills. I wrote down, I didn't write it down, but my business partner, David, who has a degree in, he has a college degree. Both my business partners have college degrees. I don't, okay? So they have the math skills, and they wrote down the equations and the specifications that we needed for the software, and I wrote down also what I needed, and my business partners translated into mathematical equations, and then the software engineers were able to build the software for us. So I'm just using it as an example, guys, of how somebody that was worth way less than than the $4,000 a day was able to help me because he did something that I was not able to do. So that's something that I want you guys to consider, is that when you go out there and you network with other people, other millionaires and stuff, right, or other business people, you don't have to make that kind of money, but if you have the skills, the expertise, or the experience that is worth that much, that's something else to consider, okay? So that's something that you guys need to be aware of, okay? And I hope that this video, guys, the purpose of me making this video is for several reasons. One is so that you guys know why rich people don't have the time to help poor people, because it costs them a lot of money. Whenever we're poor, there's two assets that we all have: time and money. Time is not replaceable. You cannot replace the time that you lose. Money can be replaced. So the wealthy people, they don't want to help you, not because they hate you or they look down on you or they're condescending towards you. There's a few jackasses out there that are condescending and they look down on people when they have money and stuff. But the overwhelming large majority of the wealthy people that I have met and that I've networked with and I've run into that made money, that became millionaires in their life based on the efforts of their responsibility and their efforts. They didn't rely on winning the lottery or luck or something like that. The people that really do know how to make money and have the skills to make it, they're not condescending towards people. It's just that their time is worth so much money now that they actually don't have time to help an individual person on an individual basis anymore. They have to have some kind of system or some kind of process, some kind of training or a course or a video that broadcasts out there so that other people can benefit from it. That's why I do these videos, okay? My business partner, Leon, right, if I'm worth $4,000 a day, right, I estimate his is worth significantly way more than that. So when the way he relaxes, and I tell you guys this, and you guys are gonna laugh, and you guys are gonna think that, we're a bunch of stupid Asians, but whenever he has free time, you guys are gonna be shocked at what Leon does. He takes this exact same camera that I got right here, this Panasonic GH5 or one of those Nikon cameras with a freaking giant lens on it, right? And he goes and he takes pictures of like fire ants and grasshoppers and lizards and things like that at the national parks in America. That's what he likes to do to relax. Okay, that's what he likes to do to relax. Me, when I like to relax, I like to turn the camera on, just share some of my thoughts and my ideas about how I grew up poor in America, in the ghettos, and became wealthy, in the top, wealth brackets in the world, not just in America, but in the entire world, right? But for my business partner, his idea of relaxation is to go and shoot videos of ants crawling and bugs jumping around at the national parks. I know you guys think I'm crazy, man, but if you hang out with Leon, that's what he likes to do in his free time. Nothing gets him more excited than to go to the national parks in America and just take pictures. They always have that stereotype about Asians with cameras. Man, if you ever hang out with him, he's that Asian. He's that Asian guy with that camera. Yeah. They have a stereotype where Asians love to take pictures, right? Yeah, I know, it's funny, huh? Yeah, so, right. So, what was I saying? Oh, so Leon, he likes to take pictures of fire ants and grasshoppers jumping around, and snakes and lizards and things like that that live at the national parks. Just all the animals that live in the national parks. Okay? For me, I like to make these videos and share it with you guys. Hey, stop touching my mic. right? So I hope that this video opens your mind, guys, that when you approach somebody that has money, how to create value in the interaction, and you can become friends with them and network with them. And the other thing too is that I don't want you guys to feel down or feel like rich people are condescending towards you or looking down on you. The reality is that their time is worth so much money that the most frustrating thing is to know that, hey man, you know, my time is worth $4,000, a minimum of $4,000 a day, and I'm showing you how to do this to make money, and you're sitting here arguing with me. You're sitting here arguing with me, and you're trying to teach me how to make money when your ass is broke, and I'm taking the time out to help you. See, what most people don't realize is this, like, when I go out, they expect, like, you know, when you meet poor people, they expect you to give them money in Asia, okay? Like, especially in the family. Like, when I go to my poor families in Asia, in Vietnam, they automatically expect that, oh, I'm doing better, so I have to give them money. However, rich people, when they meet poor people, they don't expect anything. They don't expect anything from them, right? And when I explain to people, some of my poor family members, how to make money or something, they, instead of being appreciative, they get mad. They get mad like, motherfucker, if you have some money, why don't you just give me some money? Right? They get mad. Boy, you should see how mad some of these people get. Boy, they get mad when you don't give them money. Yeah? You think it's funny? Okay. Yeah, they get mad. Okay? Well, why is that so funny? Why is that so funny? Huh? Yeah. Okay. So, the reason why I'm sharing that, hey, you're distracting me from the video here. Okay? And okay, guys, just to wrap it up, guys. You guys get the picture. You guys know what I'm trying to say, guys, right? Just do this, guys. Make sure that when you're talking to somebody else that's a millionaire, make sure you understand that guy is worth $4,000 a day. So what are you going to say to him, or what are you going to bring to the table, right? What are you going to provide that's going to be worth that for him to stop what he's doing and pay attention to you and want to be friends with you, okay? The other thing, too, is that if you are looking, if you're making $100,000 a year or $1 million a year, be respectful of your own time. And don't be wasting time talking to idiots and talking to people that is significantly lower. Not because you're being condescending, but your time can be spent making more money. Okay, you gotta learn how to say no to most of the things that people offer you, most of the opportunities that come your way. The answer is no, 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 no. I respectfully decline. I respectfully say no to that. Okay? Hey guys, I have to respectfully say no to this because I'm busy, right? I'm busy. Okay? All right, guys. Enough of this valuing your time. Okay? So I hope you guys benefit from this video. If you guys want to be ready and seriously be ready for this next an upcoming bull market, I highly recommend that you guys get a copy of the Cryptocurrency Investing Blueprint. You can get you a copy at www.cryptocurrency.market/blueprint. And I'll see you in the coaching whenever you guys get in there. All right. Like I said, the coaching will probably be available just for now until the next bull market. After the next bull market, we're looking to shut that coaching down. And if anybody's interested in getting it after then, they'll just be getting the blueprint only. Okay. So thanks for watching this video, guys. And me and my son are going to say goodbye, and we will catch you in a future video. All right.